Hey, Mom and Dad, Merry Christmas. We're here to answer some questions because that's what we were told to do. So let me flip up my notes and answer some questions for you guys for Christmas. So, first question is what ways do you inspire me, slash, the biggest lessons that you have taught me? And I think for Mom, the biggest thing that I've learned from you is that you cherish really the small things every single day. So that could mean having a beer when you're doing yard work, or just winning a game of Words with Friends, or anything small. You count those as wins for the day, and those really keep you positive pretty frequently, which is fun to watch. And I think the other thing that you've taught me is that you work really hard on stuff that actually matters. So getting involved with Finders Keepers and getting involved in the community and making sure that you're really making an impact. You've just always worked really hard at things like that. And then Dad, I think...
Oh, you want to go?
Yeah, go for it.
Mom, you've taught me that you should always love people where they are, meet them where they are, and I really appreciate that about you. Your love for each one of your kids is so special in a unique way, and that really inspires me to continue to find out what drives the people that I love and to learn from them and to really get invested in what drives them every single day. So I really appreciate that about you.
For Dad, what inspires me is that you take on tough shit without complaining. And specifically what I think of is when you were waiting in Indiana for your transplant. As hard as that was, and I can't even imagine doing that myself, you didn't even really give the slightest hint of that being just this insane obstacle. And I remember thinking as a kid that this was just an easy, routine thing for somebody to be doing, just because, you just didn't complain. You knew it was what you had to do, and that was all there was to it. So taking on tough shit without complaining is definitely something that you've taught me.
And Dad, I didn't know this was possible, but you've inspired me to be even more competitive. And I've learned that my threshold for taking shit is much lower than I thought it was, because of the way that you push my buttons so well. And then the biggest lesson, I can't think of anything you taught me, but the biggest lesson is maybe if you pretend that you're bad at something for long enough, no one will ask you to do it. I.e. cooking, cleaning.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Changing diapers.
She utilizes that one frequently. So the second question is catchphrases that you have with me, and I
really struggled with this.
I couldn't think of anything other than the funny thing that happened while we were there recently with ornery and horny. That made me laugh a lot.
So we hope that whichever way you want to take the phrase, one of you is ornery this holiday
ornery.
season. Is that how you say it?
They said it in the movie last night too, which was funny.
Mm-hmm.
All right. In what ways do you hope to be like them as you grow older? In what ways do I hope to be like you when I grow older? I think something that stands out to me is setting a good example for us in what a stable and consistent marriage looks like. I've told this to Kirsty multiple times, like in our marriage, that I've never really seen you guys argue or have any sort of discourse, and while that might have its own cons to it, I think that the biggest plus is that you guys always maintained a united front and always showed that a stable marriage, which I think is just a really important example to show to your kids. And then kind of hand in hand with that, I think you always put, at least from my perspective, you always put my needs before your own. And I know you did that with the others as well, but that was something that Kirsty kind of touched on as well. But that was really apparent. So I hope to be like that when we eventually become parents.
Yeah, you guys are both incredibly loving and selfless and giving of your time and your money. And in general, we have so many wonderful memories with you guys because of the way that you care and give so much to our lives and to the things that are important to us. So we love you so much for that. Thank you.
Yeah. A memory that you will never forget. So with Mom, it was before, I can't remember the name of the indoor soccer complex. It was the one that was up in Auburn that Coach Mark had asked me to go play at. And we had said yes. And then, the night before, I was really nervous about playing with these kids that I perceived to be better than me. It was in a league that I was uncomfortable with. And I remember staying up late at night with you, probably crying and saying that I didn't want to play and I was really scared. And the thing that I thought was really cool, that how you handled that and why it sticks out in my memory, is that you didn't push me to play in that game. You didn't say, well, you're playing and that's that, as I feel like maybe me as a parent would do. Instead, you said, pray to God, talk to God about it, and we'll see how you feel in the morning. And that was kind of all you said about it. And I remember praying to God and in the morning getting up and saying, I'm going to go play there. And it ended up, the story of it ended up working out really well. But that memory sticks out to me because it was just like parenting 101, like just an excellent example of, I don't know, setting the right example and making sure that they
leading the
so I don't know if I explained that right at the end, but anyway.
Okay, I'm gonna go next.
Yeah, go.
Mom, one of my favorite memories of you was the Thanksgiving that I spent with your family because my parents decided to take a trip to New Zealand without me. And on the way there, I believe we were driving from Atlanta and we let you know that I was gluten-free now. And we get to the house and you had a smorgasbord of, I think, every single food that Harris Teeter has that actually has the gluten-free tag on it, which is fascinating. I didn't know that all of that was necessary. So we had, gluten-free pretzels and gluten-free tortillas, and then you weren't sure if fruits and vegetables were gluten-free, so you didn't put those in my little basket. And we had a nice little lesson, and I feel like that's a lesson that I continue to teach you every time that I'm home, so that's a great memory that I have with you.
So a memory that I'll never forget with Dad, so I would just say baseball in general, right? We've talked about it before, where playing catch in the front yard was such a great memory for me, and it's something that I never took for granted. You come home from just a terrible day or whatever else, and I don't think you once said no to me for playing catch. Maybe it was just helpful for you too, like it was therapeutic to go out there and play catch. I don't think it was that therapeutic when I was throwing it over your head into the woods, but in any case, just playing catch, going to all the baseball games with you, that's obviously a continuing memory. And the thing that stands out to me is that it doesn't necessarily matter that that's not my favorite sport. I enjoy it. I enjoy playing it. I enjoy watching it, but it's not my favorite. But it's the fact that I got to spend so much time with you doing that thing. And I think that's what really stands out to me.
Oh, Dad. One of my favorite memories of you is the year that we played euchre at the cabin. At the cabin or the farm? I always forget which one.
At the farm. At
the farm for the first time. And you annihilated me with Uncle Gary, and I lost it. I think that I'm like
No, you kept it relatively well together, but yes, you
I think my face went white and then it went red a couple of times, and then I was like, how far do I push the envelope with my new ex-boyfriend's family situation? And you just kept pushing the envelope. You and Uncle Gary just really know how to push my buttons, and that was such a great memory. But the better memory is the year after when we kicked your ass. And that was really, really fun. So I will never forget those memories. Beating you in literally any game is something that I hold dear to my heart.
Okay, so who would survive in the wild the longest?
Yeah, Mom.
Yeah, so this is Mom, and if somebody says otherwise, I think they're just wrong.
I think they're bribing you, Dad.
Yeah, and I did write a little funny side comment, so I'm trying to envision Dad out there, and I'm not sure exactly what he would do, but I'm sure he could figure out the statistics of dying within a certain number of days, but inevitably that really wouldn't matter when a bear shows up to your camp and then it's over. And that's actually a good segue to my thoughts on statistics, that they don't matter in individual circumstances. So in any case, that's the answer to that question. Do you have anything to add on that?
No, agreed 100%.
Okay. Which parent are you more like and how? For me, it's Mom, because we're Enneagram 9, so we had a test that said that we are. No, but seriously, it's because Mom, you're more sensitive, you're more social, you're more emotionally driven, and you're hyper conscious of the people around you, which is the same with how kind of I feel, and I see a lot of myself in you. So I think I'm the most like you.
Yeah, so I'm an Enneagram 8, and I don't want to mention who the other Enneagram 8 is because I like being alone and being a contrarian. So I would say I'm like neither parent, obviously, right?
That's fair. Most embarrassing story of one of them or both of you. It's hard to read this and then also say it to you. So I couldn't think of any like truly embarrassing stories, but I can tell you a time that I felt embarrassed for myself and then also for you, Dad. It was probably the first time we went golfing, and I realized that my ceiling was actually very low, and the long-term outlook of how good I was going to be at golf is probably not so good. So I remember feeling embarrassed in that moment, mainly for myself.
I don't feel like I get embarrassed often, but I feel like this is one of those memories that will like haunt me for the rest of my life. So I sat on one of the chairs outside while we were there in September, and something bit my butt like really hard. And I was in so much pain, and I trust you with my life, Lisa. So I asked you to look at it, and that picture that Alex snapped by the pool is like hopefully one that no one ever frames and only comes out after like 6 or 7 beers. Please don't look for it. And then we had the audacity to also show Dad the picture because I have no scruples with the family anymore. So that is something that I think will forever live and go down in history, especially from that month that we were home.
That's a great picture. So for the last question, if you could tell them both one thing, what would it be? I guess we don't have to make it hypothetical because we're just going to tell you. But for me, it's that we love for us. Okay. We love you to death. We're thankful to have you as such active participants in our lives, even as we're over here in Spain. You guys always make us feel special and like you want to know what's going on in our lives, and we definitely don't take that for granted. And we're sad to be missing Christmas this year with you guys, but like we've talked about before, it really was a blessing to be in Charlotte for a month before moving over here. I know we both really appreciated having that time with you guys and growing our relationships deeper. That's really something that we'll cherish going forward. So
We love you guys.
Merry Christmas. Okay, let's end the video.
12 minutes. Oh, you talk a lot.